All right, going to be doing a v34 patch review. I'm joined by Ashwin. Ashwin.
Yeah, what's up?
Why? You jumped on it the first time. All right, I'm keeping this in. I don't care.
Okay.
For those who don't know, the way that this patch was created, it's been in the works for about a year now, I'd say. And both Ashwin and I, Ashwin to a lesser extent, have had some sort of influence on the patch. So whenever we say, this was my idea or this is an idea we've been pushing for a while, it's not just saying that. Like, it's actually, we've been in the discussions with people. I think that's important context because I don't want to seem like, we're trying to take credit for something that wasn't actually ours. Okay, so let's just go down. I'll let Ashwin cover a lot of the modding changes. But yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, so you can look, there's a huge amount of modding changes here. It's kind of odd to me that so much of this internal stuff got exposed externally, because to the average player, you don't care whether the table which is giving your Civ the ability is in like the XML or the DML or whatever, right? There's a few changes here which got me a little bit actually worried from a coding perspective. And I think if you can find it, the randomness combat option. I have no idea where this is. So one of the things that happened this patch was that there's a new option in Lekmod to remove combat randomness, and this I personally suspect is going to cause a lot of lag. For the exact same reasons that first move fix caused a lot of lag when it was first implemented. But I don't know. I haven't seen evidence of that occurring yet. But there's
I'll
just
say
like a lot
I
of
haven't played enough on the patch to know, but in all the games, I don't think anyone's played with it on. So
yeah, that'll probably do it.
I do think it's like good for stability. I mean, do you want to talk about like how it's helped Weavy? Because I think that change is
Yeah,
something that
so
people are going to
this,
switch to.
this change is something that I think I personally pioneered in Weavy. Basically, when the game does all its combat math, there's just like a yes, no, do you want randomness or do you not want randomness? And we turned it off for Weavy, and it made combat way more consistent. I don't actually want to say stable. Weavy is a famously unstable mod, but there's a lot of times in your games you can see, oh, I slammed this land ship and I killed it on my screen and then I captured a city. But on your screen, I didn't kill it, and then you saw me do a whole amount of moves that made no sense because of the bad desync. And then the desync only fixes on the turn roll, right? And then one person gets completely blown out because they were playing on the wrong version, and the other person is like, "Yeah, what a great turn for me." And this is, I think, really famously occurred in some tournament games in Stealth Wars, right?
Yep. I remember one
So
urban game specifically
yeah,
where
I
he
was
just
thinking about
got
that urban game as
so
well,
fucked.
right? But you lose your whole turn and you can't even recap because to you, that city's not captured.
Yeah.
It can be really bad, and removing combat randomness is a really big step towards improving stability, towards lowering the amount of just general netcode nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know that all these internal changes were necessary. These are things that almost all these are things that we don't have in Weavy, and the appeal of doing this is that you're supposed to be able to edit things a little bit more easily on the modder side, but to the player, this doesn't have practical effects. And it also, as we've seen, introduces a lot of potential for bugs.
Yeah.
So,
Either way,
yeah.
I think a lot of this is cool that there's more options.
Yeah.
But
Actually, no, I take it back. I don't like the options. Every single time you open up a Lekmod lobby, there's like 30 options on the right
that's true.
side. I think option bloat has hit Lekmod hard.
Yeah. From an EUI perspective, a lot more stuff is given Golden Age points as a yield now, which I'm kind of, I don't really see the value in, but all I know is it fucked up my UI, so I'm not a fan.
I
But
think it all really starts with Immos, right? Because the whole checkbat thing comes from Immos, and for the Russians, there's only two commonly used UIs, right? The base UI and the vanilla EUI. And Zit's UI was kind of a breakthrough for a lot of NA players, right? Because I mean, like English speaking players, I would guess.
yeah,
Because I mean, it just does a lot of stuff, and accommodating that third option without Immos' support is going to be really hard, I think.
gotcha. I did want to spend some time talking about, and I know people are mostly interested in the civilizations and stuff, but I do think this is important to cover. These kind of changes where trade routes ending at the beginning of the turn, King's Days ending at the beginning of turn, and deals ending at the beginning of turn is such a good quality of life fix. No longer are you going to go unhappy mid-turn transition, not grow, not finish the wonder, etc. So big fan of this change. And I think from a consistency standpoint, it's going to help a lot. So big fan of that.
Yeah. Caravans in particular are terrible. With a deal ending, you can just look at your screen and be like, okay, I know my deal is ending. You can account for that. But there's actually no way to determine from the caravan screen. Because the caravan runs a predetermined number of circuits. And then when it's close to the end of its circuit and the number is low, that's when it ends. So it's really, really hard to figure out when your caravans are going to end, and having still getting the yields on the turn they end is so good.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the civs. New civs, 3 new civs today. So the first one, I wanted your opinion on this because I loved this in concept, but I don't think it makes sense. Like, I think this UA is so cool. So 100% food production and gold from land-based trade routes. Now, a lot of people don't understand how good this is because they're like, oh, it lets you settle inland. It's also just like discounted cargoes. Like, I can just build caravans now.
Cargoes are so vulnerable to pillage.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pillage, I didn't even think about the pillage thing. But like, Portugal is really consistent because they have cheaper cargoes, right? Not to mention the now stuff, which is complete bullshit, but whatever. This is effectively similar to that bonus.
Because I start talking, I won't stop.
What?
I just hate Portugal so much.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
Let's not talk about Portugal.
But like, my point being, like, they have the consistency.
Yeah, it's a consistent bonus. You're always getting this bonus.
Exactly.
Right? There's not a single game where.
Yeah. So
I kind of I like the concept. It also prevents the kind of like iced in issues that you sometimes get with coastals.
Yep. Absolutely.
But
and I think
overall,
my whole problem with this civ is, one, I don't think the castle makes any sense. Like, I don't know why this matters. But
I mean, this is literally a game This is a game option dependent civ.
What, you think the GA game option thing is like, without that, this is useless?
I think it's pretty bad without it. Yeah.
I mean, I think like this could be like, I'm trying to think of like some use case, right? Like, imagine you go coastal honor, right? You're on the coast here. Coastal honor.
Okay.
You settle a bunch inland, and then you're looking for Neuschwanstein. Like, and because you're wide.
I mean, Neusch is good. Neusch is
like
this
is
good.
like this is pretty.
I also think, yeah, but it's kind of leaning into the small bonus.
Yeah.
Of the castle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the golden faith as a yield is not enough for me.
It's definitely not nothing.
It's not nothing, but I mean, the 4 golden age points too is like kind of interesting, I guess. If you're wide, you could, like, start your GA for factories or something like that a bit earlier. I don't know.
There's a lot of these golden age point effects in this iteration of the mod.
Yeah.
And I think they're designed with the golden age points while in GA in mind.
It's funny you say that, because I agree, but Eat acknowledges that it's not balanced.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
All right. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
So
anyway, the Zebek,
I also really don't. Yeah,
is not.
This is
synergistic at all with what the Civ wants to do, in my opinion. Right? Like, The Zebek is a coastal UU in a civ that's incentivized to settle inland. I think the UU is broken, just to be
so
clear.
Good that
It's so
it's
good.
going to. It actually draws you back away from the inland. If you look at the bonuses on this unit,
it's crazy.
this is like
No, it's insane.
it's nuts.
It's so absurd, but it doesn't synergize. So I think the UU is crazy. I think the UA is great. I think the UB sucks. And it's coastal. So I guess we'll see how it is. I don't know. I do like this in concept though. I just wish it was.
I also hate this captured ships thing. Have you seen that clip? I think this is an Achilles clip where he captures the right ship and it just captures a city.
No, I have not seen that. No way.
Yeah, so if an enemy, as it turns out, when an enemy unit spawns in your city, it just captures it.
It like at full health.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm surely nothing bad will happen.
I hate these random rolls. I think these kind of capture mechanics they just cause trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, Mughals. So overall, the Civ seems pretty good. It just seems a little weird, but I think it could be good.
It's disconnected, but I think that's fine. I think it's nice to have civs which incentivize you in multiple.
It actually synergizes so incredibly well with the New Wonder, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Mughals. I played the Civ and I've seen a bunch of people play it. It is so broken. So the UA, cities with a dominant foreign religion gain 1 science, 1 culture, and 1 gold for every 4 pop. And then holy cities receive the same bonus if at least one of your original cities has been converted to that religion. Then you get 2 GA points from World Wonders. So this is kind of and I came to this realization yesterday. So Mughals is amazing wide civ, and we'll talk about. Well, actually, I guess let me explain the UB first. Caravanserai, 10 city strength, which is going to get nerfed. It will 100% get nerfed. That's way too high. 2 gold and 3 culture if it has a garrison. 3 culture and 2 gold on any building, in addition to the base gold that the garrison gives, or that the caravanserai gives. By the way, so it's like 4 gold, 3 culture building. It's just ridiculous to get that early. Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway, so you want to play wide typically because this building is so broken. And if you're playing wide and you're getting all these bonuses from having another religion, that means someone in the lobby is incentivized to play pilgrimage. Okay, and pilgrimage is probably one of the best ways to like explode and speed up the game like dramatically. The pilgrimage player is going to have a crazy game, and then the Mughals player is going to have a crazy game. So in this instance, you're creating like a dream scenario for 2 players, and then everyone else is just kind of like behind. And that's what I've seen in every Mughals game I've played. The pilgrimage player has a crazy game, and then the Mughals player also has a crazy game. It's just such a weird.
And the rest of the lobby just around looking at the fast boys.
It just depends. I've beaten a couple Mughals players just cause. So like obviously they're not like impossibly strong, but like the potential for them to be is incredibly high. And then the cannon.
Can you tell me?
I don't know your thoughts on this, but like the cannon is just good, like really, really good. So I think like if you're playing wide, you're playing honor, you get your first scientist right after you tech leaning or while you're teching leaning. If you just take that same concept and instead of teching leaning, just go straight for gunpowder, you can full bulb into chem. That'd be like a turn 85 musket cannon push, which actually sounds insane because these things are effectively just crossbows, but like ridiculously strong.
Yeah. 3 move on a 3 versus 2 is such a movement breakpoint, especially on these units that want to set up to fire.
Yep.
It's like you can move on flat, set up and fire, or you can move like all the way 3 tiles to claim more tiles, and something that's this bulky. You see this phenomenon also with the Khmer Blessed Elephant, which is, I mean, one of the most insane units in the mod, but same principles apply.
Also, I mean, the fact that it costs more is also completely irrelevant because you're making so much money with this caravanserai that it's like a non-factor. But you were trying to say something.
Yeah, if you're super rich, you'd rather have a more expensive unit to upgrade into, right?
Yeah.
Because it turns less hammers into the same amount of combat strength.
Yep.
For this 4 pop in the city bonus, is that for the number of followers in the city, or does it just
Pop.
check the pop of
Pop.
the city?
So it's way better.
Oh
It's
man,
way better than like Tithe or something like that.
that's nuts.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Every Mughals game I've seen, I've only seen 3, but all of them hit 1,000 science before labs.
That's nuts.
Also, I mean,
this
they were
one
all
looks
order,
really good.
which obviously helps, but yeah. Okay, last one, Chestia. Let's talk about this one. 100% religious pressure towards your own cities. Choose the Reformation belief upon enhancing. I actually love this. I think this is so cool. This is like perfect for a guruship liberty. Because let's say you let's say you're playing lib, you take messenger, okay, and maybe for sake of example, you also get Stonehenge. So you're at 13 faith a turn, maybe 14 if you built a shrine, okay. You take profit as your finisher. You finish with profit. You spread instantly, and then you spread to you only spread to 2 cities, but then they instantly get the whole religion going in all of your cities, and then you naturally get your next profit pretty fast, and then you enhance, and you've pretty much spread to everything by like turn 75, or maybe 80, probably less than 75, or probably around 75, which is incredibly fast for any Liberty player. And not to mention, you also get the benefit of Reformation. So there's no incentive at all to go piety, because that would be just completely redundant, which is perfect for what Lib wants. The same concept applies to honor. Obviously, this is just like nice to have as trad. It's not great. I mean, it would be cool to, you could just pick Apo. You know what I mean? Like, I've been experimenting a lot with like, especially 5 city trad going like Apo second. It feels really good. That's this.
Really, I'm surprised. I was just thinking about this, and I thought, oh, but the temples will still be kind of annoying to construct. Difficult to construct. You're still paying 100 hammers, I guess 90 hammers per city. But you're saying it works out well?
It's fine. Oftentimes, if you're doing that, you go for Aya. So that's one temple done. But yeah, I mean, building the temples is kind of annoying, but having the faith at the end isn't a complete waste either, because you just die engineers because you're trapped. So it's not like you're Liberty and it was a complete waste of time. So it actually feels pretty good. I've done it a handful of times. Your game scales incredibly hard. And if you're playing 5 city trad, you're often not contesting like a ton of wonders that you would with normal trad, but you keep your hammers really high, and then building the temples you actually have time for, because it's not like you're building a lot of expand wonders. Unless you're giga high rolling, in which case you don't do that anyway, right? You probably just click aesthetics in that case. But anyway, UB 2 gold from iron. It's a mint replacement, 25% less production, merchant slot, which I think is kind of irrelevant. Maybe not. I don't know. Actually, I don't think it's relevant at all, because this is absolutely a commerce civ, commerce or Patro civ, and both of which really want to have merchants. So I actually think that's kind of relevant. The 25% reduced production is just really nice to have, and I think putting more yields on iron tiles is really good, because oftentimes I find myself not working them. But this gives you an incentive to do so. So I don't know. I think the building's like fine. It's not amazing, but I think it's pretty good. And this
The problem with the building
synergizes
is that it's sitting right
incredibly
there next
well.
to the UA.
What'd you say?
The problem with the building is that it's sitting there right next to the UA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the UA, this gives you followers, more follower stuff.
Yeah,
So it's actually like,
I guess.
I don't know why you would take followers with this UA, maybe, but like, could make sense. I don't know. It's just like another followers belief to build. So it seems pretty good. I did see Marco hit Smiley with a Czechoslovakian Legion attack. You get foreign legions after getting ideology, correct? Like when I think that's how I actually.
Foreign legions are unlocked at tech. They're unlocked at replaceable parts tech.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's shit.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. He did like foreign legions. He went freedom. No, he was autocracy. He went freedom. Or no, he went autocracy, foreign legion attacks with like planes. It was interesting. The main thing that makes this unit broken is the may move after purchasing, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
And they're really cheap, especially if you take commerce. So yeah.
I think the Civ looks good. Part of when I'm thinking about the strengths of Piety, I think Piety is an incredibly strong tree, and the things that make Piety really strong are the access to Reformation and the GP purchasing on the finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And this is literally going in and kind of stealing half of the big Piety bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just like, let's say there is an Abba player, okay, I'll take swords. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds pretty fucking good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So changes to existing civs. This is where like the meat and potatoes really is. I don't think we have to cover all of these in depth, but I think some of them are important. So the UA for Arabia now gives. I was curious if this works. I mentioned this when I initially did this recording. But I wonder if this works for like stoneworks and circuses. I doubt it, but kind of wish that they mentioned this. Still receives the double oil, and then 1 gold, 1 culture from luxury buildings. I just think this is like the most bleh bonus ever. But like 1 culture, 1 gold.
I mean, it definitely is
from like a sensory maker. Like, wow, riveting. Like, I don't know. If it works on stoneworks,
right?
then that's good. But.
So it's supposed to work on the stoneworks if there's a marble enabling the stoneworks.
Okay, if that's the case, then I think this is pretty good.
There's a bug report up by Solex, I think. He said it wasn't working. I don't know if it's fixed yet.
Okay. Well, let's assume it gets fixed. If that gets fixed, then that's actually pretty good. Because those buildings you build really early.
Yeah, but it's still like Stonework Circus or Stonework Circus Lighthouse are the payoffs there.
Well, yeah, would it happen with Lighthouse because you don't need it to build it?
That is the intent.
Okay, then that seems really good.
Yeah.
Like getting culture on buildings, the gold is kind of
that you already wanted to build.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's just huge.
Mm-hmm.
The Bazaar, I actually do like this change. Beforehand, it was like kind of a stupid bonus and it was easily abused. Like there was that bug where you could just like create infinite luxes essentially. Eventually you can't trade them out with anyone. Like there's no point.
Yeah.
So like it was. So this is actually cool. I still think the Civ sucks, but at least it's better. Kasami Raider now yields 2 movement points and 15 XP when plundering a trade route.
That's a cool effect. I don't want to fight this under any circumstances.
Yeah, I don't. It just seems, especially because like trade routes, I feel like are often like pretty close to each other. So you could just like go jumping around to all the trade routes. Seems really obnoxious. Yeah. I don't know. This unit's already really strong. I think the double gold, it just felt like it didn't matter that much because you already got so much gold anyway. So this is kind of just a buff. So Palmyra, just a buff. So really strong Civ, just got stronger. kind of. I mean, hydro plants are not really building, so whatever. All right, do you want to talk about Macedonia? This is like probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. So Mace, this is a pretty big change to it. I think
Oh yeah, it's
the
huge.
general was viewed as kind of a weakness in the late game, and that's totally changed now. And these units scale insanely. Like, if you look at the combat strength per era, if you look at the promos that they're getting, if you're coming in with like cabs and arties and one of these, that that Macedonian general is gonna hurt.
Like give people like an idea. So you're an industrial. You have cav arty. How strong is a cav?
So a cab's 34 strength.
So this is 20% more.
Like, yeah, but it's also got the march,
It's
right?
also
So
got
if
march.
you're saving this,
Yeah.
and then once you hit modern, like they just keep getting better and better. That's the scary thing to me. And if you are ever in danger, you can just general, and generaling is good anyway. So
You know what I was thinking
this thing's
about?
spooky.
You know what I was thinking about?
Uh-huh.
Like imagine you wore a lot in like expos, okay, and then you Oxford radio, and then have like let's say like 3 generals or something like that. Like you have
Yeah.
just
And you
3
just
land
land
ships.
Yeah, with
That seems
March.
and 50% bonus. Like that's just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's that good, but like imagine a circumstance where you wore it, whatever, you get this wouldn't happen, but like, you maybe get 2 generals and then you get a terracotta, so it doubles the general, which I assume still
Yeah.
works. Like you get 3 generals from that. And then you just like appear. Or what if you're like, I'm just spitballing here, but like you're piety, you're playing Cog, or not Holy Warriors, Cog, Honor Second, like an Ottomans type thing. You do the same shit, but then you buy generals. Dude,
Yeah.
we're cooking.
I mean, every discussion of Mace has to be backed by the fact that Mace is fundamentally a great Civ.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the
It's not
barrack is
like
still
this is
broken,
some
by the
stupid
way.
gimmick Civ. Yeah,
The
Mace is
problem, which
exactly
was
as
the barrack,
broken.
is still broken.
Exactly. And then you're scaling much, much better with
Yeah.
these units. This is, in my opinion, a permaban Civ, and I expect it to be permabanned forever.
Yeah. I liked how it's not as oppressive in the early game anymore, though. Like I do think that's a good change. Getting a free Hitaro and
Isn't
then
it?
getting a free Hitaro and then Terracotta would just end wars instantly. Like there would be nothing you could do.
I think
So this
it still
kind of
looks really good.
it still looks good. Like absolutely, I don't want to get it twisted, but like especially
Yeah.
with the God of War change, it's gonna lack a lot of the early hammers it had before. So it's a
Yeah.
better sim civ now, honestly,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
scarier
It's scary.
in a way.
Yep.
Okay. Maya Pyramid. I think this is a direct nerf to Liberty Maya and to some extent Trad Maya, which in my opinion were the scarier ones. I think Piety Maya was always kind of shit.
Really? I actually have the totally opposite opinion. I
Really?
think Piety Maya is
All
I've
right. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
that's totally fair.
If I were playing Maya, I would click Piety every single time. That doesn't matter what the land is. I don't care what the CS are.
Really?
I'm building the 2 science, 2 faith shrine everywhere instantly.
I mean, yeah. I just like how it functions with trad like incredibly well. Like you have your religion sorted, you're first to every single tech. When you need like you spawn your prophet just from your shrines, and then you spawn a prophet with the Maya. Great person, instantly have your religion done. Like it just everything's so fast, and that's what trad wants. It's like the best tempo civ. Like I have not played a Maya game on trad and not gotten 87 RBs. Like you just get it every single time. I've done it on
Yeah.
terrible land, and 87 RD is just like a game ender in a lot of ways. So
I think this change is going to incentivize Maya more towards Piety.
Yep.
It doesn't see the cost increase as much. but
it's still small
it's
change.
Maya,
Like that's the other
right?
thing. Like it's still very small
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Civ's gonna be good. I think this is the right direction for the change.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was Sierra's idea. So
Yeah.
okay, Russia UA, one production from coal, iron. I don't know, I read that differently. Aluminum, uranium resources. Each of these resources, including horses, instantly provide double quantity. Importantly, this is not double oil. And then all strat resources may be improved instantly. So the improved instantly thing
But the
is,
big thing here is
this is
yeah.
the lack of horses. Yep, absolutely on the one production.
Mm-hmm.
But the all strategics may be improved instantly is so interesting because like you get on the Iron Hill and then it's instantly done.
It's a cool effect.
You get on your coal, instantly improved. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to save a great person for that anymore. That's pretty insane.
Yeah. I think it's a lot more fun than the previous Russia UA.
I do too. Dude, my craziest Russia game I think was like turn 41 and I had 100 hammers or something.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, chopping the horses off is going to
what
limit the
the
snowball a lot,
fuck was
I think.
that? Yeah, exactly. And then Krepos, I just think this is a buff. I mean, which is good because Krepos was so bad. So, all right, now for the change I'm probably most excited for: Polynesia. Maui's now improve any resource that it may be constructed on. This means you improve your cattle. Now you can build a stable. You improve your Lux. Now you don't have to settle on Lux every single time. Any yield now also functions with Maui's. It's important because previously, if you wanted a chance to retain hammers, you had to improve the horse on the island, for instance, and then build a stable and then remove the horse. And it was just very clunky. Now you just build it everywhere, simplifies the whole thing, and it's much better. I think this is, especially the luxury, obviously, but this is such a big buff to Poly. I think it instantly becomes a viable Civ. You're less worker restricted than you were before. And with islands at a state that's playable, I think the Civ is actually quite strong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the problem with Poly, and unless they plan to change this in the future, which I know they've talked about, but Poly still struggles because they can't radar. And that is a really big deal. So I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, good change. Love this change. Big fan. Your thoughts?
It's a very feels good change. It's nice to you have a Civ that's supposed to do something. The times when it doesn't do something feels so bad.
Yeah. Especially when the whole point is to do that thing.
Yeah.
Boars. This was my change. Additional farms now require one less adjacent farm for their respective yields. That is so good.
It's a much better Civ.
So I thought Boars was good beforehand. So just put that in perspective. Like I think Boars is really good now.
Okay, my favorite comment about last patch's Boers was there's this comment in the Russian Civ Discord, which was Ergo saying, "Nobody asked whether Boers could be made worse, yet it was a challenge Lekmod devs accepted."
I think the change was in good spirit. I just think it was kind of like you needed everything to be going perfectly in your early game, and if everything was going perfectly, it would be a crazy game. Like I loved Boars with
The problem was
Stonehenge. If I didn't have Stonehenge, I did not want Boars.
this is kind of like an assemble Voltron Civ, right? It's like everything has to be going for you perfectly, and then you like look at the one farm in the center, and you're like, wow, this farm is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think now it's actually really good. Like I think it's really good. It's huge favors Liberty Civ, because of the worker time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really good. Huns. Really big change here. No longer starting with animal is crazy. I know you hated turn 0 bonuses, so
Yeah,
I wanted your
not
opinion on this
a
one.
fan. I think it's a change in the right direction. I really like it. Huns is always been known as kind of a civ that can really run away with things if you let them go. There's always been the combination of the threat of the horse archer and the really, really good pastures. And I think this just delays that a bit. The civ is still clearly powerful, but you don't get these starts where you like move on horse, start improving pastures instantly. And I like making the UB a little better because the Hunt stable, if you looked at it before, it's basically just a stable with a faith on it. It's not like nuts.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I think now Hunt still wants to work all the horses, right? I think now,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
in a way, it's almost like, I'm not going to say it's a buff, but if you're playing like, very specific example here, but like, let's say you're playing trad Huns without a lot of cap tiles that you could use, like, that horse information for. Maybe you only have like 2 staples total or something like that, one of
Yeah.
which was horse. This is actually a buff. And I know that's like a specific example, but that kind of situation happens a lot, right? Like I'm thinking of like instances where I'm Argentina, I don't have any stables, which happens all the fucking time. And if that's the case, Huns is just a better civ in that instance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
hmm
anyway, cool change. 2 base faith yield is actually quite good, especially synergized with the current stable, which also gives faith to horses. So you could be looking at like a stable that gives 4 faith, which is pretty good. Brazil. This was my change. Tourism modifier. Those string of 2 videos or 3 videos where I played Brazil a bunch got the Civ changed. So tourism modifier during Golden Age increased to 100%. This is so fucking overpowered. I can't express to you how broken this shit is, man. This is so stupid. Like, you will be able to win the game pre-hotels. You don't even need hotels. Once you definitely don't go labs. You go fucking hotels. It might even be worth it to, if you're like hardcore chaining, like your GA, like let's say you like get Taj or something, or like you natural finish aesthetics with Chichen. You're going for 24 turns. I would fucking Oxford hotels and end the game. Like, that's how good this shit is. Like, this is ridiculous because culture generation doesn't really pick up until like 110 most of the time, because that's when everyone's chaining, or that's when everyone starts their GA. That's when everyone's popping writers and has Hermitage up and stuff like that. I'm talking like you get to fucking hotels on turn like 102, right? Because hotels come at about the same time that you'd get replaceable. So like getting to replaceable by like 105 is pretty normal on like a tradition game. You get there, and because you're Oxfording now, it comes sooner. Like, you Oxford hotels like 100. Like, you could just end the game. Like, this is crazy. I'm like so excited for this.
strong.
It's so stupid.
You're gonna put a third Brazil video in Brazil trilogy.
Maybe the redemption video.
Yeah,
May no longer be built on
I
forest
can see the title
tiles.
already.
Yeah.
It's gonna be I bullied Eep into changing this civ. Let's see if it works.
Now improves any strategic resource or luxury placed on jungle that would normally spawn under jungle. So this is mostly for Luxus. I guess you would do it for iron, but like you'd probably end up wanting to chop your iron still. I think this is a pretty big change, especially for those jungle truffle starts or like sun god
Yeah.
starts and stuff like that. Like, it's just a good change. So I actually like this a lot.
This is the type of quality of life I like, especially if you look at the Moai, it's the same thing where it's
Exactly.
like
Yep.
sometimes your Civ doesn't do anything despite your best efforts, and this limits that.
Yep. Okay. Probably one of the biggest changes in the whole thing. This is so crazy, Ashwin. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
The
Do you want to talk about why Grassland Bias is so bad?
so Grassland Bias inherently reduces the amount of hills you get, reduces the amount of hammer tiles in general you have. So oftentimes on India, you'd have these starts which have like 4 hills in your whole capital, like 1 horse, not a lot of deer that are like hill deer. So it's mostly like grassland deer or like grassland bison. So it's huge food density, but absolutely 0 hammers. And India is a civ that it's very difficult to pull off if you're not super like comfortable. But if you can play them wide, they're easily like the best wide civ in the whole game. And having very high food density capitals is not conducive to strong wide games because your starts are too slow. It'll take you like, even with Liberty, 5 turns to build a settler. That's not going to work. In this case, being able to have plain starts as India with lots of hills and, like flatland horses and whatnot to speed up your game is incredible. In fact, I don't know if you saw my game. I just played a game as India and it was an honor game. So I played honor India. I took 3 CS. I planted 4 cities. So I was on 8 and the game felt amazing. Like it just felt incredible. And it was like a plane start. I had like a Sun God Lux on planes. It was amazing. It was so good. And the game ended up, I got like 148 space. It was just stupid.
Wow.
So
Something
huge
else I want
change. Yeah.
to say about Grassland Bias. This is, I think, not very well known. So the map has this internal score called fertility for regions. It's saying how good is this land, and the map wants to make all the land equal. The thing is, the map prioritizes food. The map script values a flat grassland tile as better than a plains tile, and then in an attempt to fix this, it fills in bonus resources on plains tiles.
I did not know that, but that makes so much sense because you still see these huge swaths of like flat grassland with nothing on them.
Yeah. Yep. Because the map thinks this is the best land. I don't want to make it better.
Yeah.
That's the intended design.
That's so interesting. Well, that would explain why your caps are so. I had one Liberty India game on my channel beforehand. It was like an anomaly because I got, I think, 4 stones spawned in my cap. So, and a tobacco or something. So I got like insanely good stone circles. So it fixed the problem. But those kind of games are insanely rare. So yeah.
Yep.
Columbia changed, just a nerf. No longer receives additional gold from gold lumber mills. I think this is a good change. This was just like excessive. Like you'd be like
I still think this
GA
is good.
as Liberty and Columbia on turn like 65, making like 150 gold per turn. Like it's just that's not even an exaggeration. Like that's like not fair. Like it's not fair at all.
Yeah.
I still
I
think
think
the
it's
Civ's
natural as you
so
introduce
good,
more
but
civs. Yeah. The more civs you have, the more power level variation there's going to be. But Columbia is just one of those where it was just constantly up at the top, right?
Yep.
It's still crazy.
I still think it's insane, just for the record. But
Yeah.
this gold shit was broken. And then Vatican, cog buff, whatever. I will say, Vatican did get a bug fix where I think I posted a video on it, but it no longer gets the free courthouse. When you take a religion when you take a city state when you don't have a religion, which is interesting. So archering as
Yeah, that's
Vatican
a
is
nice
no longer
change.
good. I will say though that that strategy wasn't even good because you bled so much gold because the courthouses are so expensive. But anyway. Okay. Let's talk about another huge change. God of War. What is your opinion on this? Removing one hammer for one food.
This is the smallest possible nerf that could be done while still being a nerf, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think that's right.
Honor struggles a lot more with its build queues than its ability to grow. You do get like this honor food modifier on the finisher, which is nice. God of War is still great. It hasn't magically turned into the worst pantheon on the map, but I think this is one of many steps in the right direction in this patch, I think.
So here's a hot take. I actually think in a lot of ways this is a buff.
Really?
I've played a lot of Honor, as most people who watch this channel know. I've played probably more than most people. On most of my Honor sim, especially when I'm going catapults, so I'm not going archers, I typically will build an early shrine to try to get God of War. And after getting God of War, my cities will be like 3 pop and they won't be growing. And I'll have a shitload of workers and everything will be improved, but I feel like I'm stalling and my growth just isn't accelerated as fast as I would like. And it's just this weird limbo state where your early build queue in this case are going to be obviously hurt. But you'll be moving up in pop like pretty substantially faster. Like one extra base food is actually kind of a big deal because a lot of the time that's like the difference between, oh, like I'll grow one more time and then hammer down, or I'll just hammer down now, if that makes sense. I think in those cases, especially because I feel like you pick honor a lot on like, at least I do, on like coffee starts and like these plain tiles where you already have a lot of hammers. So in that case, like this food is actually really good and really nice to have. Obviously, if you were going to pick honor on like, I don't know, like a grassland start, this is like a big nerf. But yeah, I don't know. This is just my experience. And then Divine Judgment, this is just like the most insignificant buff I've ever seen in my life. I've played this Pantheon a couple times. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Policies. Did you want to touch on Explo? I think giving some.
I don't really think it's worth commenting on.
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing thing. It just buffs inland Explo a bit, which I think is cool. I don't know. I like the idea of making more things amphibious rather than like exclusively binary versus coastal. So I'm for it, but I don't think it's enough to do anything.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well.
Yeah. All right, ideologies.
Oh my god. Okay, so we have to talk about this patch notes is missing one incredibly important change, the change I consider the most important in this entire patch, which is that elite forces, the tier 1 autocracy policy.
So we can talk about that here. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's start with elite forces.
Yeah.
You
so the more I played Civ, and the more fighting I've done, the more I've been convinced that elite forces is actually just the best policy in the game. When you're fighting well and you're not being a total dumbass, you're healing units. And healing units for 10 HP more means that your units are getting back in the action a full turn, or sometimes 2 full turns earlier. And that has even more impact when you're playing with planes, and your planes, which are already in a city, they're just easy to heal. They just take the turn off. A land ship, which needs to heal, has to rotate away from the front and heal, and it's still great. A plane, which needs to heal, just sits in the city where it's been the whole time and heals. And elite forces was, in my opinion, the thing that let autocracy be so oppressive to other trees, because elite forces meant that you win bomber war forever. It means that your land ships stay healthy and move on to the next guy and rotate through stacks of infantry as long as they want. It's all on tier 1. This was, I think, a linchpin policy for autocracy, and it's gotten slashed.
This was my idea. I wanted to nerf elite forces. I wanted to nerf the healing specifically. And I think this was a good change. Originally, my idea was just to remove it completely. But I think this is a fine change. I think your point on the planes is easily the most important. How elite forces synergizes, how it synergized with triplanes especially, but like, obviously like air repair bombers, it was just so toxic to the game that I think having this change, it's only 5, but the 5 does matter a lot. Like Ashwin saying, that's like one more turn to wait, which is obviously huge in a lot of cases. So I think this is a really big change.
Let's talk about the plane specifically because it's an interaction I still see a lot of people don't know. When, let's say, Ryan and I are fighting, and I have a triplane on intercept, and Ryan's sweeping me with a triplane, and let's say he's dealing 45 damage to me, and I'm dealing 15 damage from my interceptor, right? Now you might think, oh, that was a great trade for Ryan. He's dealt 45, he's taken 15, he can do this forever. But my triplane gets to heal if it doesn't act. And with elite forces and being in a city, your triplane would naturally heal 35. I would be winning that interaction.
Not only that, I mean, you pair it with and everyone who is doing these plane wars with a medic unit. Like you're not just
It's
winning.
completely obnoxious.
It's not even you're straight incentivized not even to do it. They're just farming you.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's a really big change. It's, in my opinion, the biggest change of the patch. I was watching, and I've seen it in effect. I was watching like a landship war. It was the kind of landship war that I've seen happen a lot of times. And you just kind of expect as long as you're saving your landships, you're rotating them out, you're gonna be back to full army really fast. And 5 versus 10, especially on landships where you don't get to set up medic as easily, is a massive difference.
Yep. All right. Lightning Warfare now provides 1 movement to naval and other civilians. I think this is just a good change. It's obviously a buff to auto, but no one really picks lightning, so I'm down for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about order. So Patriotic War now provides 1 movement to all units within friendly territory. This is an awesome change. This also works for workers and civilian units, which is huge. So think about like what Lightning just got. Order gets that on their tier 1. Obviously not in enemy territory, but still feels so good, especially when you like need to improve oil fast or you are setting up roads or whatever. Like, great change. Party leadership. I think the response on party leadership, this is gonna be a hot take, but response on party leadership is way too aggressive. Like, obviously this is really good, but the only thing that changed was it got 1 more science and 1 more prod. Like, that's the only thing
It
that
was
changed.
2 gold before?
Yeah. Maybe it was 1 gold. It was definitely
I thought
2
it was
food.
1 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it being 2 food.
If 1 prod, 1 science, and 1 gold is the difference between having a broken policy and a policy that's never picked ever, I think like the response was overblown. That's all I'm saying. I think it's good.
There were certainly party leadership believers before, in particular Miota. Big fan of even the previous party leadership. But I view this as a very significant change. It's tier 1, so you're just these are completely free yields, and you're just picking up like depending on how you value it, like 2.5 to 3 real yields extra.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's obviously like a good amount, but like compare that to, I don't know, Freedom tier 1 where you're working specialist food. Like, that's way more yields.
Is it?
Yeah. This is like
I think if
8,
you're
kind of yields.
Yeah.
That's like how much you're getting in freedom. It's like
Yeah. Again, that depends on there's some opportunity cost to freedom though, right? It's that you're working like say you have to be working like windmill
you're working
slots
worse tiles
to
for
make
sure.
that value.
For sure. That's fair.
Yeah. This is just completely free. I think this is a great policy. I once we get to the end of ideologies, I want to talk about like
Yeah.
global effects here, but I think this looks really strong.
It's good. I want to be clear, but I do think people are saying that this is the problem in order now.
Oh yeah, that's not it.
That's why I'm saying that. Like people are saying like if they're gonna nerf order,
Okay.
that's the thing that needs to get nerfed. Like no, that is not what needs to get nerfed. This is a good policy, but keep in mind most order games you're taking double happy, and then great people gen, right? That's most order games.
Mm-hmm.
Most order games you are not allowed to take this policy. So just like I guess keep that in mind. Like this is not a policy that's picked every single time, and if it is, you're sacrificing a lot because order tier 2s don't give happy. I mean they do, but there's too good of other options.
Yeah, I think it's also that they buffed the 3 most important yields on the policy. If they'd gone from like 1 to 2 food, that's the yield I care about the least at the time that I take this policy. But the science, prod, gold, those are yeah.
No, I agree. Okay, People's Army no longer provides a production bonus towards armories and military academies. Now reads 1 science, 1 culture from barracks, 2 science, 2 culture from armories, and 3 science, 3 culture from military academies. My opinion on this is I still think this policy sucks unless you're honor. If you're honor into order, this is probably a must pick. I still don't know if I'd take this over 5-year plan. For those who don't know, that's the 2 hammers per city and then 1 hammer on every mine. I'm not sure if that's worse. Like I think it's close. But if you're not honor, you're never building your military academies because it's just way too expensive. For very little, for like 3 science and 3 culture, like it just obviously that's a good yield, but it just feels too expensive. And the opportunity cost is obviously 5-year plan. Where I don't think you build them. So on honor, I actually really like this. On anything that's not honor, I don't think it's as pickable. But now this is like a legitimate option. So I'm a fan of this.
Yeah, I think it's another tool in the toolbox, and it gives order a little much more potential to scale.
Yeah. All right. Cultural Revolution, in addition, now provides 50% reduced ideology pressure on happiness. I think this is a good change. I think we're still just waiting for the ideology change that drops the unhappiness modifier and instead turns it into a combat modifier. You know, the thing people have been talking about for 2 years. Oh yeah, that.
Has it been 2 years? It probably has been 2 years.
I think it's been 2 years. Yeah. So once that change makes it in, this will get changed. But right now, this is fine. I think order is the tree that struggles the most with unhappiness due to ideology. So, it's a good change. Anyway, let's talk about the most broken policy in the game right now. Have you played with this at all? I mean, you've seen it
Played with
a lot.
I've seen a lot of it. I should start by saying I misassessed this completely. When this first got released, I was saying, guys, this is not that much better than Iron Curtain. This doesn't seem like a big deal, right? You're all freaking out over nothing. And it looks like I was totally wrong. This policy is exactly as bonkers as everybody else was telling me.
Yeah.
This is a lot of yields.
This is ridiculous. Like I think you can play tall order now, 100%. Play tall order if you have a lot of strats. Like you're like currently, this is going to get nerfed for those watching. Like it 100% will. But I think you can make the argument that you should pick between freedom and order if you have strats. Like if you have a lot of horses, like there's games where you have like 40 horses or something, right? If you have a lot of horses, you should always pick order, even if you're 3 city. Like it's insane.
Part of the reason this is so much better than Iron Curtain is the Iron Curtain yields aren't getting modified.
Yep.
And these are in your highest density of strategic resources in your capital, where things like your NC are,
Yep.
and you've got all this. I mean, everything's getting modified like completely out of this world. This is a really good policy.
Dude, I mean, the craziest shit is when you do this with Mongolia.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
like
but
not even fair. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
No, I mean, this
this
policy is
is
crazy. I
it's
think this gave me
it's
like
blowing everything out of the
200
water.
science or something.
Yeah.
200 science,
I
like 200 hammers. It's just crazy.
yeah. You're clicking this, you're getting like 5+ of these in your cap. This is just like such a linchpin policy.
Yep.
It's busted.
And then freedom, your favorite policy. Do you want to talk about
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to look at it. You can talk about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna drink my tea.
No longer provides food in the capital. Production bonus towards hospitals and medical labs decreased from 100 to 50. But now they provide 2 happy. And the science
Oh man.
decreased from 3 to 2. Like, I don't
This is a nerf to an unpickable policy.
like, I don't like for
This is what I need on my
you're
freedom
not in
game.
the chat anymore. No one asked for this. Literally no one. And then everyone saw this and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then they kept it. It made no like this is just so uncalled for. Like, this is a dog shit policy that just got fucking worse.
The one thing I'm looking for in my freedom games, the thing I'm constantly struggling with, is my happiness, right? Because as you know, it's so hard to stay happy
Yeah.
on freedom.
Yeah.
It's just really difficult. So I'm glad that we get these tools like for happiness on buildings.
For happy on
Yeah.
buildings that suck. Like, I just don't get it, man. It's just so like this change.
We don't have to be the dead horse.
What?
Yeah. I think everybody's in agreement about this.
Do you want to talk about the implications now of
Yeah, okay. So, global changes to Lekmod. This is, I think, really interesting. So there's been a lot of agitation among a lot of members of the community for many years to kind of kick us out of the autocracy meta. There's been successive series of changes over the past 2 years. The map has gotten much more defensive with more hills, more mountains. Order has received some combat bonuses. Freedom has received some combat bonuses, more gold, all of that. And autocracy has nevertheless stayed pretty entrenched in its position. Autocracy wins a lot. It gets picked a lot and it wins a lot, especially in like if you look at the very, very, very top level of competition, and we're talking like tournament playoffs, tournament finals, autocracy hasn't been that dominant. But if you look at qualifiers, it's all auto all the way. And I think this is the first patch I've seen in my like 4+ years of playing and watching Lek that it doesn't feel like I should be spam clicking autocracy. Order has received an entirely new package. Each of these changes individually, you think, okay, that's a buff, this is good. But when you stable them all together, Order looks insane. And
coupled with the honestly, Order felt so good, and then we released the Elite Forces change, and I almost think it's too much. But we'll see.
I don't necessarily think it's too much. I don't think it's bad for the game for, let's say, Order to be better than autocracy, right? If there's going to be a best ideology, I'd like it to be maybe a little bit more multifaceted. But I definitely think like Order is
super fair.
Moving
like the auto player is still gonna beat the Order player in a 1v1. Like it will happen, and it should. Right? Like if it's a fucking straight duel, 1-on-1, you should take the thing that kills your opponent. But Order, I think, now becomes, to your point, more multifaceted, more you can have more variability when you pick it and feel less bad. Beforehand, you pick Order because you're like, well, it comes with a free policy.
Yeah.
Like that was why. I also think I've been playing a ton of Freedom, and Freedom feels pretty good. If you're having a game that's conducive to accumulating a lot of culture and is either you got Sistine, or you're playing a culture civ like India or something, like I think there is a genuine choice, and you can pick freedom versus auto or freedom versus order based on what your land is like. If you don't have a lot of hills or you lack strats, freedom might be better for overall yields. If you have a ton of strats, a ton of hills, and maybe you're not working a lot of specialists or you have no intention of filling out ratio or something like that, order is going to be better. And I think that choice is how it should be. Like, you should be picking your policy tree either based on what victory condition you're going for or what your land calls for, not what's best, right? Like, having options is the whole point of Civ. And then auto obviously is just, I still think auto has the best policy in the game, which is Total War. Like, I still think Total War is the best policy in the game. Clausewitz, also like a top 5 policy. Elite Forces, as it is still a fucking insanely good policy. Like, auto is still insanely strong. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think order now just has a lot of options to accelerate more, and you don't feel pressure to go. You don't feel pressure to do ratio or like force yourself into ratio because the rest of the order policies are really good. And I think that's what's important. Like, freedom never really had the problem of, like, you know, if you went to freedom 11, it doesn't feel bad. It actually feels pretty fucking good. Like, the amount of freedom tier 2s that are insane is actually really high, right? You've got, and tier 1s is also really high. You've got specialist food, you've got avant-garde, you've got EU, you've got, if you need happy, you can take the capitalism policy. If you want morale, you obviously take the Foreign Legion policy, which is actually a really good policy now that it gives a combat bonus. If you need tier 2, you have arsenal. You've got, you know, whatever the fuck, I always forget the name. The windmill policy, like, which is obviously which is super urbanization, which is super strong. You got the happy policy, which is really good. Like, there's a ton of good policies in freedom, and order always felt like there's just this. There's order 3, which is factory science. There was space flight, and then a ton of happy, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, and Curtin was pretty lackluster.
Curtin was very mid, and then communism was unpickable. Now it feels like order actually has options, and you can, you know, decide what's best for your game based on what you're playing. And I think that's a perfect spot for it to be in. I'm so excited for this tournament because I think all 3 ideas are pickable based on your certain situation. The issue I have is that I think freedom is still in a weird spot where if your game is not good at all, you really can't pick it. But if your game is super good and order and freedom are kind of like, they're kind of like equal, you should probably just pick order to deny.
Yeah, I think you pick order to deny. Order gets to play better in these kind of mixed strategies because order loves Kremlin. The railroad sim bonus is possibly the strongest sim bonus in the game. I mean, it's like Sybil tier.
The problem with the order sim with railroad is you're teching railroad, so you're going to be slower. But you'll be slower. But safer.
I mean, Kremlin's there. Yeah, and in tournament context, you want to be slower but safer. My thoughts. I'm going to speculate wildly here because that's my favorite thing to do in the world.
Of course.
I think people are going to shift into much more defensive setups because you're going to be sitting on, like, typically less combat bonuses if game leaders are not just spamming autocracy. If game leaders are willing to sit around more as well, and you're going to start to see more of this defender Himeji stack is going to make people want to sit around longer. And if you're order, you're thinking, okay, I either have to go kill 3, 4, 5 players and win the game, or I can just sit here and space. Maybe you're going to space. And I've seen so many more space games in the last, like, week than I had in my whole...
I think some of that, though, is just, like, people are trying to test the new
toy syndrome.
Yeah. But I agree with you 100%. I really do. I also think that... No, go ahead. Sorry.
So I keep stats on my games. In my over 500 games of Lek, I've seen 7 space victories.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Does that count like CC someone that was gonna space?
CC like obvious space, yeah, that includes.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, part of that's like I'm kind of a monkey, so.
I mean, you know this better than anyone too, but like, it's really hard to make meaningful progress in war without like a distinctive timing advantage or combat bonus advantage. If you're fighting at
Yeah.
parity, like it's like a
Yeah.
slog that feels like shit.
Even if you're fighting amazing, if you're
Yeah,
fighting at parity and some third guy is simming, you're losing that game.
100%. Yep. And that's the nice thing about having order be a dominant tree is that you're always fighting like probably worse than parity, right? Because
Yeah.
so auto's
I'm
still in a good
excited to
spot.
start.
Yeah.
I'm excited to start griping about, oh, they have more units and better tech than me, instead of, oh, their units are just 50% stronger than mine.
Yeah. I think unit mass should still be the same. We still get, or auto still gets 25%.
It gets 15. Total War got nerfed.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah,
So
I think auto. They basically like kept taking a hammer to auto and being like, "Why don't you die?" And it kept not dying, and they finally hit it one too many times in the head.
well, I don't know. We'll see. I still think auto's good.
Yeah.
Triple promos
Oh,
is it's a lot.
yeah.
All right.
But I think you're right that like the great games are gonna be thinking about taking order now. It's big stuff.
Yeah. Order Cole. This is my requested change. Base culture reduced from 3 to 1. Just I don't know why this had 3 culture on it. It just seemed excessive for the best wonder in the game. Christo change. Cool. Still think it's probably pretty bad, but I don't know. Tower of Bellum. I've seen a couple people do this as like an alternative to doing like a Machu dip. So where some people would like go guilds before unis, you go compass before unis and build this, and it's just pretty fucking good. Like two golden rage points sit on different landmass, 1 production and 1 gold from city settled on the same landmass. I mean, it apparently I haven't tried it yet because I haven't played any coast dispatch, but apparently it feels really good. And yeah, I don't know. I think especially with Expo, like oftentimes you find yourself trying to hit your 3rd GA, and having these excessive golden age points is actually pretty meaningful. So for
Yeah,
hitting that, so I actually like this.
I think using it to force out the natural is the biggest advantage of it.
Yeah.
This is this is the exploration specific wonder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Louvre now comes with 2 great work slots are filled. Era of Great Works is the same as the era of the players upon finishing the wonder. This is huge because it helps fill your Uffizi, which is massive. Also, if you're playing tourism, these 2 free great works are effectively like 40 to 50 tourism a pop, which is obviously a ton. So that's like 100 tourism just added on with this 1 wonder.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. The unfortunate reality is, unless you're tourism, this is a complete nothing burger of a wonder. You could say the same thing about like Broadway, I guess, but I don't know. I think this is pretty good for tourism
I think it's
specifically.
a tourism exclusive wonder. You could lock it
Yeah.
behind the aesthetics policy tree and nobody would notice.
Yep, I agree. I don't know when you'd fit this in your build queue though. It comes at a weird time because oftentimes you're teching here. Dude, okay. I mean, I'm cooking right now, but like Brazil, NG Louvre, hotel.
Okay, starting with Brazil is cheating. I'm sorry. Like
I mean,
we've already
this is how you end the game.
Yeah. As though you weren't going to end the game before with your 100%.
Sure, but like it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man.
It's just a tourism wonder.
I know it's tourism.
I think there's some space for like tourism strats to be better in this upcoming meta. Like these are the sort of things that tend to prey on order, but order's looking really fast.
All right. Last one. Probably the most confusing wonder added that is clearly broken. Small caveat. When you're playing Explo and you're going to go frigates, oftentimes, at least for me, I like going Sistine first to show Ren. That way the other coastal doesn't get like instantly like, freaked out. It also lines up perfectly with when I spawn my scientist most of the time. Bulb in, whatever, I'm there. What that means though is that's right when my engineer spawns. So this is like an insta engineer as the aggressor in a coastal if you're going frigates. 2 engineer points is crazy.
Yep.
That's just a shit like why? But 33% for an extra unit is obscene. So that's all I'm gonna say. I want you to go. This wonder is crazy.
This is so busted. I think this might be the best wonder in the game. Like, I'm not even joking.
Right, you're being a little exaggerative.
No, because this makes you battleships as well, right?
Yeah.
This makes you your battleships and your destroyers. Like, if I'm on the coast and I've got like a nice production cap, I need this. I will trade Chechen for I'm making 2 battleships at once. It's insane. And the thing about it that I really don't like is the competition that is naturally going to be caused over it. So if you've ever been in like a crossbow war and you're like, okay, I need to time my terracotta so that I can get like my big terracotta pop that's going to help me win this war. And then have you ever gotten same turn on terracotta?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody who's tried this knows this feeling where it's like, oh Jesus Christ, I just went from being super advantaged to being probably equal in this setup, and now I'm screwed. And the competition for this wonder is gonna, I think, feel the exact same. It's gonna incentivize, I think, some early bulbs into nav if you're expecting to frigate just to secure it, and getting same turn on this is gonna be such a death sentence.
I mean, we talked about this a little before we started, but like this with the new Civ is gonna go crazy. Like it will go crazy.
There's this effect should remind some of the ancient players of old NQ mod Patriotic War, I believe, which did this effect where it cloned units. That was an insane effect. That was like completely busted.
I wonder if this wouldn't apply the promo, right? Like if I have a barrack.
I don't. I was gonna look at this, and I don't think it does. I can probably pull it up right now. Well, it would take me a while to find it.
Okay.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
But this wonder is like just so clearly like busted, oppressive. I don't want to fight this thing.
Yeah.
This is okay. Not okay. I don't want to say like best wonder. That's obviously like hyperbole, but this is like, I think this is better than Himeji on the coast.
Oh, on the coast for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And then I know there's not much. I mean, this is all good stuff, I guess. Hopefully the Georgia fix actually works. I know other changes they had is that now every wonder is now going to have a skeleton. So like, Huey now has a skeleton. Panama has a skeleton. Stuff like that, which is good. I think that's much needed, especially for Huey. I mean, Huey's the main one, but yeah, big fan. Is there anything you want to cover beforehand? I think this was pretty comprehensive. And overall, I think I speak for Ashwin as well, but like I think this patch was great. I'm really excited to see how it spices everything up. I think all of these Civ changes were in the right direction for the most part. And I'm excited to see what happens. I think this tournament that's going to come up is going to be really interesting. And yeah. you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I agree completely. I think there's a lot of potential for strats that we haven't seen in a long time to resurface. I'm hoping to see people play different types of games than they've been playing for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to be playing tournament, Ryan?
I signed up.
Ooh.
So there's at least a 20% chance I'll play.
Okay.
I don't.
Other than
I don't.
yourself, who do you think would be like? Who do you think you'd have the most fun if they won the tournament? Who are you rooting for?
Yeah.
I'm rooting
100%.
for Miota. I
Okay.
don't think he's
Well,
even.
yeah, Miota's due. Okay.
Yeah, Miota's
Honestly.
due.
Okay. My actual list. Gao is up there for sure. I'd have the most fun if Purify won, probably. Like, just imagine the circumstance where that happens. Any of my like dumbass friends, so like Spencer, Denzel, or like you or Hawks, if any of you guys won, that'd be awesome. And then Hoy and Yoda and Gao. So that's kind of
that's a big list.
That's a big list.
That's a good list. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you and Hawks aren't playing, so it's and I don't have much
Zero
faith
chance.
in Spencer or Denzel. So that's kind of a nothing burger of a section. But anyway, what about you?
Yeah, I think
You want Miota, yeah.
I want Miota. I think it would be so cool if Gao won, right? Because Gao has always had that kind of his teeth, right? He sinks his teeth into a game and he just kind of tears at it like a dog until the people are just done, right?
Mm-hmm.
He roars like he's trying to exhaust you, and that's my favorite style of gameplay. And I would love to see some of that. I'd love to see some of this true like NQ grind.
Yeah.
That's how Gao appears in my mind.
No, I think that's great. I think the problem with Gao, and he's probably gonna watch this video, but the problem with Gao is that he'll have a game like that and he'll look amazing, and the next game he'll look like shit.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people in your Discord, they just want to go fast.
Yeah.
They're thinking like, how do I go fast? And the meta, these guys are not very friendly to the Gao style. Like, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. I love that.
Yep. I mean, look, if they're not going so fast that Gao can still like grab their shirt
Yeah.
and pull them in, they're fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. All right, cool. Well, this was fun. Thanks for your help, as always.